Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is number 91 for February 8th, 2023. I am Nemesis and I am joined by Alcatraz.
Hello.
Yes, it's of course, already February. Feels like 2023 just started and here we are.
Some days it feels like it's been really short. Some days it's felt like it's been really freaking long.
Yeah, well, one thing is a couple things in the news anime-wise. Actually, one thing I forgot to mention last time, which was the anime awards from Crunchyroll are happening, although the voting's already over at this point. Oops.
Whoops.
The thing was that it was interesting because they drew a little bit of controversy because they removed the fall 2022 stuff from the voting entirely. They were not allowing anything from there into the votings because they said that's going to be folded into the 2023 award show or whatever. And
Odd.
I believe the idea is to make it so people just don't vote for the stuff they watched recently. That's very much a thing that happens.
Yeah.
It forces them, now you have to go back at least 3 months and figure out what the heck you watched earlier. Because
Yeah.
I think they're afraid of just, everything in the fall just overrunning everything else. So it's like, of course you got the weird stuff like Spy Family's up for a couple awards and like it was a divided season, so that's kind of a weird place. Stuff like that. But it's just how it is. I personally probably would just move the awards then to April. So they could actually have all of 2022, but whatever.
Yeah.
Not the one running it.
And there may be other complications around scheduling.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, actually, in Love Live stuff, a lot of Love Live stuff dropped this last few weeks. One thing is they finally announced the title of their little VTuber project. It's going to be Link Like Love Live.
That's a lot of L's.
Yep. So that's the title of it. Apparently, it's also going to be an app and stuff. But yeah, we'll see how that actually plays out. Apparently, it's coming in April-ish. That's a thing. And on top of that, the big news about Love Live is they've announced end of service for the original School Idol Festival game. I got the notification on when I was checking it one night. I was like, oh. The thing is, for me, I was like, I knew the writing was on the wall, like the stuff going on in the game. Like the game's been really generous about giving me stuff. It's like, yeah, they're ending this.
Yep. Give it.
And on top of that, they've already announced a sequel.
Yeah.
This is coming to an end soon or something. And yeah, they announced on the 31st of January that it's coming to an end on March 31st this year. And they've already suspended in-game transactions. As of that announcement, they are no longer there. You can look, you cannot buy anything in-game anymore. They also confirmed that you can transfer your account from that game to this School Idol Festival 2.
Yep.
They've already confirmed that, and in fact, it's already live in the game. I haven't used it yet, but in the game, there's a button you can press, and you can start the process to transfer your account over. Unless you're in the UK or the EU, in which apparently you are not allowed to do the account transfer process, and they've just kind of apologized and just said that it's not going to be possible for some reason or another. And apparently a lot of the stuff you have in the first game will carry over in some way. They haven't confirmed how. It might just literally be just an album of all the stuff all the cards you collected. And they're non-usable because the new game, they've showed some gameplay and it looks very similar to the first one. Some people kind of complaining that it's not different enough to justify it, but I'm looking at stuff. It's definitely, there's a lot of notable differences. Plus, they have improved a lot of user experience stuff because they have admitted that, I believe in the past, that in an effort, because this game has been running for almost a decade, which is kind of impressive, that they've been kind of bolting stuff onto the game to try to keep it relevant. And now it's one of those things, the game is kind of bloated now. So,
yep.
Start from scratch.
Yep. At a certain point, it's not worth it to just keep it. It's like, okay.
The other thing, it's just kind of funny that the announcement of the shutdown of this live service game comes at the same week. A lot of live service games are dying. A lot of them, like, what was it? The Apex Legends Mobile was one of them.
Oh, yeah, that one.
That weird, Knockout City? Yeah, that one. That weird, the Battle Royale that's like all melee based also got shut down. And apparently we got announcements that a bunch of internally not announcements, but like leaks that stuff internally were canceled. A whole bunch of stuff like live service games canceled in the same week as this one. And it's just kind of funny that this is the only one of all these ones that shut down lasted more than 2 years.
Yeah.
Again, almost a decade. Won't quite hit the decade point, but apparently the sequel, looking like the sequel, School Idol Festival 2, is coming out by the end of April. You can actually pre-register if you have the Japanese Google Play Store. You can pre-register for the new thing. So that's Love Live stuff. Yeah, and it's going to actually, this time I actually have all 4 groups so far. So Muse, Aqua, Nijigasaki, and Leela. Because Leela didn't appear in All-Stars, and All-Stars is still running at this point. It's a kind of, at this point, it's a weird point because it's a separate company entirely running it now. But Leela has not appeared in All-Stars, and they barely appeared in School Idol Festival. And also with weird sprites, because Ren's head looked like her neck was just gone. Like, no neck. Where's your neck? Your head's just sunken down. It was weird. There's some weird sprites going on. So anyway, it's coming. Yeah, and it's also the thing was, it's also the realization, that's the same day that Setsuna's VA is retiring from the role.
Aww.
And it's like, at this point in this time, they're about to do the Asuna live, and it's likely going to be her last live. It's like, man. And probably the last original song will probably be in the next, at point 2. Oh, well. Anyway, moving on from that fairly long bit, we actually have, once again, 4 anime to talk about. A brand new anime to talk about from the new season, Winter 2023.
Yes.
Once again, randomly chosen, and then one's tossed out because it was not one either one of us wanted to watch. And then, yep, that's you got first 3 episodes of each of those. So going in the order that we drew them in, we start with Nokemono-tachi no Yoru, a.k.a. The Tale of Outcasts, in which, well, it's about a British orphan named Wisteria. It's like, what about British orphans make them extra orphany?
Yeah, something about that.
Anyway, it's like the late 1800s, so, Victorian England, that sort of thing. Well, post-industrial revolution, that sort of thing. Anyway, she meets a demon named Marbus. Marbus there is kind of bored. He's just like been alive forever, and he seems to be eternal, and yeah. He's bored. He starts talking to this girl who can see him, because apparently that's not a thing that most people can't see demons, but she can for reasons that we have yet to know.
Yep.
Anyway, there's also demon hunters and stuff like that. She meets him, and it turns out also the place, she's an orphan, but thing is, she's like the priest who takes care of her doesn't actually really take good care of her, forces her to beg on the street, yells at her when she doesn't do a good job, hits her, all that stuff, and her basically one bright spot is talking to this demon.
Yep.
Anyway, he sells her off to a rich guy, which looks like maybe she's gonna get a break. No. Turns out he likes to hurt and torture little girls. He has a whole little room specially to torture little girls. Fun.
Yep.
Anyway, Marbus saves her, but the problem is demons have to make pacts to actually do stuff, apparently. And, well, she has nothing he wants, because most demons do it to add extra life to theirs by taking from the human soul. He's like, I don't want that. I don't want more life. I've got a lot already.
Yep.
But so what happens, though, is she, sacrifices her eyes, her sight. And so now she's blind, and she now relies on him to guide her around.
Yep.
He can take a human form as well, but apparently is a huge strain on him for reasons. Because likely just to make it so why aren't you just human all the time?
Yeah, it's one of those conflict things.
Yeah. Also, apparently his human form is very, very pretty.
Yes. Long, flowing red hair.
Yeah. Makes all the girls have to fan themselves a bit. Yeah, so that's the thing. Apparently he's also one of the 13 calamities. So that's another thing they haven't really extrapolated onto yet, other than they're probably really just really powerful demons.
Yep.
As they established, Marbus is very powerful. And demon hunters can find demon energy, and eventually they start going after him, and it turns out one of the demon hunters is Wisteria's older brother, Snow Langley. Anyway, not surprising, Marbus and Snow fight each other a bit, although Wisteria is able to stop them, and yeah.
Yep.
That he's like, listen, they're going to come after you, and they're going to try to kill her too, because she made a pact with the demon.
Yep. Apparently making a pact is just as bad as being a demon yourself.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, they eventually run into another person who turns out she has a demon person who they don't know exactly what's going on, and, well, Wisteria is completely oblivious to the fact the other guy's a demon too. His Nefarious.
Yeah.
And Diana Blackbell. Something about her is slightly off. We'll just say that at this point. At this point, as of 3 episodes in, there's definitely like something about her is not right.
Yeah, the ending of the 3rd episode pointed. Yeah, she's
doing something.
Yeah.
She's doing something kind of possibly bad.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's one of those bad for good. I don't know. They didn't explain it. They just showed a room full of dead people.
Yep. I suspect, I'm not sure, that might be one of those weird things where somehow she found a loophole. Let her, that's what she's giving the demon.
Yeah.
Other people's
my
lives.
pact is other people's souls.
Yeah, also the other thing that the demon hunters are called Knights from the Order of the Sword Cross. There's also in the 3rd episode, we meet another orphan. It turns out actually she's dead.
Yep.
And has been the whole time we've seen her.
Yep.
Because things happened beforehand, and the demon that she made a pact with kept her soul around for a bit, and then finally absorbing it because she was killed by a different demon.
Yeah, that was like they made a pact she made a pact with a really weak demon to get like, if I die, you can have my soul.
Yep.
And in return, you help me pickpocket people to live. And then she died, so the little demon got her soul, but didn't want to absorb it because kind of liked her.
Yep.
So just let her soul wander as a ghost. And
yeah, because she eventually I finally has I haven't been hungry in a very long time.
Everyone ignores me. I thought that was just because they knew I was a thief.
Yep.
It's because they can't see you.
Yeah, but Wisteria is completely oblivious to that initially because, she can see demons and stuff. Well, she can't
at
see
that
them
point,
anymore,
no, couldn't see anything.
But she can talk to them.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. Apparently, she can interact with not just demons, but ghosts as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's just
it was attached to a demon, so it makes sense.
Yeah, or maybe it's just, her ability to see demons isn't just demons, it's anything in the, I guess, spirit world or whatever it is.
Although there was that funny thing where in the 3rd episode, one of the knights, had a katana.
Oh.
Here in England, he just brings out a katana, he acknowledges the katana, they just and it is actually winds up, actually doing a little damage to Marbus. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then they actually
superior of the Japanese.
Yeah, but then
blade.
they actually acknowledge that, katanas are actually not that great in certain aspects.
Every sword is built for a purpose, and if you take it outside the purpose, it's not going to work.
Japanese katana folded over 1,000 times.
1,000?
You know why they did that? Because the steel they had sucked.
The best way to make a sword was 2 different kinds of steel. Any blade is best if you do 2 different kinds.
Yeah, but eventually they had terrible steel in Japan. That's why they created katanas the way they did.
Yeah.
But this anime, it's a weird one in the sense that a lot of it intrigues me, particularly the whole thing with Diana, whatever the heck's going on there. But at the same time, I'm just kind of it's not really a whole lot enough really for me to kind of be really, really interested. It's one of those, I could drop it at any moment. I might watch a few more episodes. It depends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so furry demons.
Yeah, because he looks like a lion, and Nefarious looks like a wolf.
Yeah, the demons. Yeah, some are furry. Some of them, like the little one that the ghost girl was packed with, was different. But yeah, I'll agree on that. It seems interesting, but not so much that I'm really hyped up to keep watching. But not so much that I want to immediately. It's like that. Yeah, it might be interesting. One thing I noticed, it seems, although 3 episodes in, we don't have a huge sample to pull from, but it seems like the conflicts that they're bringing in to talk about get resolved really quick, and they bring up another one. We immediately start off with this, she's an orphan, but she has a long-lost brother, and we see this, brothers following, and it's okay, so this seems almost like it's going to be a long-run thing. Nope, 2nd episode dealt with.
Yeah. He'll probably return, though.
Oh, I'm certain he'll probably return, but that main conflict is done. But that's usually one of those you see a longer arc of hunting them down and whatnot.
Almost certain the new conflict is him going to try to figure out how to protect his sister without giving away the game.
Probably, but it does seem to be built to be more episodic.
Yeah,
and self-contained episodes, which is fine. It's just an interesting.
I'll also point out that the manga it's based on apparently is finished, so that's something.
So they have a whole story to work with.
Yeah,
they don't have to try and keep catch up or do weird pacing things to.
The one other thing that does worry me, because this is anime, is the relationship between Marbus and Wisteria. I'm a little worried what direction they'll take it in the future. I don't know. There's nothing indicating that yet, but there's always that worry in the back of my head, considering what anime has done in the past.
Yeah.
Like, okay, right now it's fairly wholesome, but I'm worried. She's still a kid.
She's still a kid.
And he's a really ancient demon.
Really ancient.
So that's the one thing that makes you go,
One thing that I think could make this really interesting, it's a potential. It could also be a complete flop and they do nothing with the whole 13 calamities thing. It hints at some deeper lore.
Yeah, we heard one of them apparently was killed.
Yeah, we know Marbus is one and Nibirius is another.
Yes.
But yeah, we don't know anything else about it. We know that it was a big deal way back when. They were a big thing. Apparently, they did a lot of damage and destruction as a demon would be expected to do.
Yep.
But it hints at some deeper lore, and I do like good, deep lore. But just because they hinted at it doesn't mean it's actually going to do anything with it.
Or if they do, it won't even appear in the anime. It's a manga only thing or something.
Yeah. So that could be one thing if it starts being more attached to this deep lore. But I have no idea, and they may not.
Yep.
The OP and ED are nice though.
Yeah.
It also, there was another one. It seems to be hinting at this idea, it's a common trope, but this idea is just because they're demons doesn't mean they have to be evil.
Yeah.
That whole thing. We see it with Marbus. We see it with the little demon the ghost girl had. Hard to say with Nibirius and Diana. Don't know what their relationship is yet because we know it's definitely interesting, but don't know the details. Right. But yeah, it seems to be playing that, which is a fairly common trope I've seen before.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. It's kind of interesting, but not that interesting.
Yeah.
It's one of those. I think it's one of the weaker ones we watch. Not that it's bad. It's
not
just
bad.
There's better.
There is better, and there's room for improvement, and it might, but it also might not.
I'll probably keep up with it for a bit, and if it starts to wane, I'll probably just drop it. It's one of those. It could be easily dropped at any moment if it just kind of just goes in a not interesting direction or something.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to the second one to watch. This one I was very excited for. Tensei Ojo no Tensai Reiju no Mahou Kakume. The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. This is one I was, if it did not come up naturally, I was going to pick myself, and it came up naturally, and I was very excited. I have read some of the manga. It's a light novel manga, and still releasing at this point. I read some of it, and way back when, and now it's here. It's one of the many Yuri that have been apparently announced for this year, and it's starts off. You got the Marauder Princess, who is Anisphia. She cannot use magic. In the world of magic, she cannot use it.
Which is weird because she's royalty.
Yeah, she's royalty, so that's unusual. But anyway, there's a whole thing which is pretty clear that she's it's a kind of an isekai thing.
Yeah,
she has memories of a previous life, but so far has not actually been that big of a thing other than pushing her to do stuff like making brooms fly. Because she knows about witches from her previous life, and witches fly on brooms.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, she has this whole thing called magicology, which is kind of is figure out how to infuse magic into stuff so she can use it and whatnot without actually using magic herself, which is useful for people like her. Like she figured out how to make a tea kettle, which actually keeps the tea warm. Which is, it's considering it's a fantasy medieval fantasy setting, that's impressive.
Yep, no electricity for an electric kettle.
Yep. There's another character. Apparently, this is one of the things, but one of these, like the character in the first episode, Tilty, there, she does not actually appear in the manga for quite a bit after this, so they kind of introduced her early. Some kind of girl that she goes to a lot, collects curses. It's kind of a darker personality, hasn't really done much yet. But she has a brother, also Algard, who, that's the thing, apparently she was, I think the implication is she was possibly the firstborn, so she kind of is but anyway, she gave up her birthright to the throne. Algard is getting the throne, and he's kind of a dick. He had an engagement to a girl named Euphilia, kind of a genius with magic. She's really talented genius, all that stuff. She was engaged to him, and it's pretty clear he didn't really care about her. He cared about some other girl in their class or whatever.
Wasn't originally royalty, or wasn't noble until became.
That one of the things. She's kind of one of those weird nobility, but kind of looked down upon by other nobility.
Yeah, because she's new. You were a
Any which way, he calls off the engagement to her, which fair enough, but he does in such a way to try to, make it look like he's not the bad guy. He starts accusing her of bullying the other girl. I believe that was Lainey? Yeah. Lainey. Yeah, the other girl who was there. Yep. And that was the girl he was actually interested in. And he accuses her of all this very publicly and claims has a whole bunch of witnesses. Ophelia breaks down, and then Annie just crashes to the window on her broom. Like, am I interrupting something? And then just kind of grabs Ophelia and runs. And then basically gets her to work together with her. And her dad is just like just practically on the verge of an aneurysm because of her antics. And they're working together, and the first few episodes are just kind of them meeting each other and kind of learning to be with each other in a sense, and also Ophelia being kind of gay for Annie.
Kinda.
I say kind of because she's not being openly about it towards Annie, not being blatantly like, I'm just not going to hide it. She's trying to hide it, so that's the kind of. Still trying to hide the gay. And of course, Annie is also, that's the funny thing, Annie there is also makes it clear she's not interested in men whatsoever. She's made that very clear from a young age.
Yes.
That's the great thing about this. They are not tiptoeing around it. They're not hiding it. They're not trying to change the manga, or the original source material to try to make it less gay. No, it's gay.
It's just gay.
It is gay, and it's clearly these two are going to fall in love. And I am very, very excited for the rest of this.
Yep.
I've been sitting here watching. I see the fourth episode's out, and I've been sitting here. I can't watch it. I can't watch it yet. Yep. I'm going to watch it as soon as I can, though.
Yep.
Yes, it is wonderful.
Yeah, this one definitely looks to be really good. I'm definitely gonna be keeping up with this one. The animation's great. The story seems great. Pacing seems great. Everything about it seems really great. I'm also interested in, again, the lore. There is some interesting lore potentials there, though I don't know how deep it will go. The isekai part is a bit odd, but again, I've only seen like one or two references where she's getting like memory flashbacks.
I think these pop up more often in the later on the manga too, so it's going to be a thing. It's going to be pop up more often, I think. Yeah,
they may show up more. The whole magicology thing I think is really cool.
Yep.
The whole idea of taking a scientific academic approach to magic and turning it into something useful, because we so many times in these fantasy stories with magic that deal with magic and technology, they always put them opposing.
Yep.
They're always, you have one or the other. You cannot have both. Technology overrides magic, or magic will override technology, kind of thing, and they don't work together. You get this hard split.
Right.
Like the whole index thing. With like they're diametrically opposed to each other and they have wars, basically.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of that. So I like seeing in reality, we kind of probably figure out how to do both.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really cool that. But everything else, yeah, it's great.
Yep. And another thing is just part of it is, what was it? Ophelia just at first just kind of not totally understanding this weird girl, and then kind of become a little enamored with her, at least by the end of the episode 3. And on top of that, there's this scene where it's like, offers that Ophelia, Yuffie there, ride her broom, and don't worry, I'll be right behind you, I won't let go. And then she's up, and I'm flying, and then she looks behind, just waving from the ground. Promptly freaks out. She was fine until she saw she was alone, and she freaked out.
Yep.
Because of course.
It's like the cartoon running off a cliff. You're fine until you don't look down. Yeah, then gravity takes over.
As long as you don't know it's gravity, you'll be fine.
Yep.
The key to flying is to throw it yourself at the ground and miss. It's so far wonderful. I'm very much excited to see more. And yeah.
Yep.
Not much, a whole lot to say. Guys, the other thing, the first 3 episodes, not actually beyond those things, just not a whole lot has happened yet beyond this initial. I'm going to take her from, if my brother doesn't want her, I'll take her.
Yeah, that's basically how it went.
She's pretty.
I'll take her.
There was a bit of a misunderstanding. It's like, what are we going to do on the bed?
I love the flashback, though, While they were having the conversation of I'll take her if my brother doesn't, with both their dads.
Yeah.
And they have the flashback where it was very open about it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Also, their dads are also best friends apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, they have the flashback where young Annie kicks the door in while he's having a meeting and goes, and she goes, if I'm going to get married, it's not going to be to just
I'm going to marry a girl.
It's like,
Good thing
It's
this isn't a Christian Europe, otherwise,
burn the witch, right?
Burn the witch, or force her to repent or something.
Something like that.
Or lock her in a tower.
Yeah, lock her in a tower.
That way she won't be an embarrassment to the family anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a whole thing there. It's fun. Oh yeah, she also has a lightsaber basically.
Basically.
It's a magic sword, but it's basically a lightsaber.
Yeah, because it's, there's no actual blade.
Well, there is a small
There's
one.
like a tiny little stub blade.
And then boom.
But then she can activate magic on it and it becomes a blade. And then she did the one, she modified the sword for Euphilia.
Yep.
So it could carry magic as well.
Yep. And so she can cast her spells and
Use it like a wand.
fire. And yeah, she fired it off and broke a tree in half. It's like neat.
Neat. I'm looking forward to this one. I can't wait to watch more.
I need to watch more because at least a fourth episode or possibly fifth episode.
Yep.
Go ahead and move on because I could gush about it forever. Even though
Yeah, we could, even though we're not saying anything new.
Yeah. So the next one is just high card.
All caps.
Yes, high card, all caps. So like, this is a weird one.
It is.
So at the beginning, you have this like big old heist thing going on to steal some briefcases stuff, and it turns out the briefcase had like playing cards in it, but apparently they're special playing cards, and that these playing cards people hold them. Certain people, not everyone apparently, so because of again reasons. Certain people, if they hold these cards, they get powers, and which power you get depends on which card you have, and like also things like weaker powers are at the low end of the deck, and higher value cards have better powers, and so on and so forth. Anyway, that's kind of the gist of that whole thing, and then we've focused on a guy named Flynn, a teenager named Finn. Of course, he's a pickpocket. And it turns out, he's an orphan, and part of the reason he's a pickpocket, he's trying to get money for the orphanage so it doesn't shut down because, of course, he's actually a good kid at heart and blah, blah, blah. We've seen this sort of thing before.
What is it about England and orphans? Again, because it takes place
in
like a mythical
not England.
Yeah, not England. Also, not Vegas.
Yeah. It's apparently called, like, Bell Land.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because, the orphanage is in financial trouble. He grew up there. He just never knew his parents, etc., blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he's trying to do the whole gambling thing. That didn't work out very well because he was doing real well, and then suddenly he was not.
And someone else showed up at the table.
Yeah, because other guy apparently had his card that basically just gives him good luck all the time.
What was it, the 10 of diamonds?
Something like that.
It's much better than your 2 of spades.
Then some other guy shows up to try to take the cards by force, including killing the other guy who had the 10 of diamonds or whatever. And then he winds up being saved by some other guy, and then he's being more or less kind of drafted into this thing where they're trying to collect these cards because reasons. Well, because obviously they're powerful cards, and they want to, I guess.
It almost feels like a government organization trying to get them all back under control.
I wouldn't bet I would not be surprised if down the line, surprise, they were the bad guys the whole time.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But yeah, he meets several other characters, including Chris and VJ and Wendy, and there are other people. They go around finding out where the cards are and trying to retrieve them. And of course, that means they wind up having to fight people with powers of some sort. So yeah, they encountered a guy who in the first episode, the guy who turns people into marbles when he touches not people, just people, but things into marbles or candy or something when he touches it.
Yeah.
Because he eats one when he, turns part of a guy into marbles and eats one of the marbles. Okay, weirdo.
Yep. Bit of a creep.
Then there's the encounter guy who basically turns into a giant hulking, he's the Thing from Marvel. He's just basically hulking rock dude. Then the girl who basically could light her fists on fire, and of course because she's got fire powers, which means she's crazy, because that's what it seems like. If you have ability to produce flame, you turn into a crazy person. That just seems how it is in everything.
Yeah. Because pyromaniacs.
Anyway, he also meets another guy, Leo, who's a rich jerkbag, and I hate him.
Leo Constantine.
He shows up in the 3rd episode, and I just immediately, okay, I want to punch you so hard.
He's got a very punchable face. His last name's also Pinnacle, which is, the name of the card game.
Yeah. Yeah. Turns out he's actually more or less Finn's boss.
Basically.
Because, Finn's, kind of got involved because, people kidnapped him. He didn't even care. And then Finn got involved, and the guy, he's admonishing him for, being reckless. He's like, what? I saved your life. Be thankful, jerk. And it's like, oh, boy, this is... And, of course, his powers... oh, my God, it's so dumb. Basically, he allows him to basically take whatever money he has and exchange it for something of equivalent value. It's like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't like him either. They operate out of a fake auto dealer. Not really fake, but they operate out of an auto dealer thing as a front.
That's the thing. It's just a group of people trying to achieve these cards, and I guess trying to prevent them from being misused by people and whatnot, which is... Yeah, because we don't know what the deal is with the cards or anything, or we don't know any of that. And this is an original anime. This is not...
It's not a manga adaptation.
It is not based on anything. It is an original story. And of course, the one character I was somewhat interested in, Wendy, has not had her focus episode yet. Hers is going to be the 4th episode.
the 4th episode, so,
for me personally, I'm going to say this right now. This thing is kind of dumb. It's in that, but it's kind of that weird thing. It's like it's trying so hard to be cool, but it's kind of almost endearing how pitiful it is about it. It's almost endearing because it's just so sad.
Yeah,
it's like the 5-year-old really trying to be like his older brother.
Yeah, it you can really tell it's trying to be cool, and it's not bad, but yeah, it's like CG that's not done well and is painfully obvious. How it's like it's not technically bad, but the fact that I can tell it means it's not good either.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's like that's what it feels like. It's just pushing too hard. There are some other weirdnesses that haven't come into play yet. There seems to be some sort of divine thing that they mentioned once at the very beginning during the heist. When the weather all of a sudden changed and spread the cards.
Yeah.
Some references someone was singing or crying or something like that. I can't remember. But
that was a thing that hasn't popped up again yet. Oh yeah, they're called X-playing cards.
Yeah. One thing I will say, however, that I was getting a sort of... It reminded me of something else while watching this, looking at the fact that all of these cards have special powers. They also get their own names.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of Fred Saberhagen's Song of Swords. I don't know if you've ever read those series of books. It's set in fantasy medieval-esque with the Greek gods, so Hermes and Ares and whatnot. Apparently, in that story, the gods created a whole bunch of swords just to kind of toy with the humans.
Oh,
but each sword had a name and a power, but they made them wrong, and the swords were powerful enough to kill the gods too.
Uh-oh.
And it started in this whole story of them, the swords getting into other people's hands and them using their powers to do things and stuff like there's a sword there. You say someone's name, let it go, and it flies and will always strike its target and kill them. Of course, then the thing is now it's dead, and the person you killed and their family goes, screw you, grabs it and sends it back. Entire feuding families killing each other with one sword going back and forth. Yeah, so that's what it reminded me of, because magical items with names and these powers, it's this feels like the Song of Swords.
Yeah, okay, so Wendy's power hasn't really shown up yet. For example, she's got something to do with a sword, speaking of. And also, there's an implication the OP and ED kind of, or ED kind of shows she might have a bit of an alternate personality or something. Maybe it's
maybe
Chris's thing is he can regenerate from pretty much anything, but it also makes him incredibly hungry because the energy has to come from somewhere. VJ, I don't think we have seen his power yet. Leo again is the stupid one, and Finn he's got the power of gun.
He has the power of gun. Apparently, he's really good at aiming though.
He gets a revolver and just will constantly spawn new bullets for him. All right, sure. And we've seen, the rock guy. We've seen the girl with the flame hands, and
so there should be 52 powers.
Yeah, total.
Because they said there's 52 cards. Which means they didn't mention the Jokers, but they may pop up later.
I have a feeling it wouldn't be trying to be like Joker's like some uber powerful card or something.
Or some weird special divine thing. Yeah, or I don't know.
The Joker gets you a random power from any of the other cards. Every time you use it, it's different.
Yep.
Or something, I don't know. Or they just don't exist.
Or just don't have them, yeah.
Yeah, and I doubt we're going to see all 52 cards. We're probably going to have those skip over. Oh, look, we got like 10 cards this week.
Yep.
So they don't have to go through every single one of them.
And have to come up with names and unique powers for all of the cards. Yeah.
Some powers seem more useful than others. Like one of them example we saw was the guy just got everything, good fortune constantly. The other guy turned everything to marbles, which is just okay. Sure. And so on and so forth. It's got some interesting, but yeah, it's got some interesting visual stuff. But the problem is, yeah, like the main character Finn, he's just so...
He's kind of annoying.
Not just that, but like also... We've seen this character a bajillion times. The pickpocket orphan with the heart of gold. We've seen it a million bajillion times. Again, this is what it is. The thing is, this is just very much like, again, it's trying so hard to be this cool thing. And it's just like, you're not though. You're not really that cool. But at the same time, you kind of almost find it endearing enough, and it's trying so hard that you almost want to give it a pity watch. So that's my part of it. I'm gonna, because since the 4th episode is the character I'm actually interested in, I'm gonna go ahead and watch that 4th episode. If she's not enough to salvage the thing, I'm out. That's my thing.
Yeah, and the 4th episode should be out by now.
It's out. Is out. That's
I think the next one's gonna come out like tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's either tomorrow or Monday that it comes out. One of the two.
So it's they come out early a week. I found that out.
Yep.
So that's my thing. Is the 4th episode doesn't grab me for whatever reason, I'm out. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it one more chance.
I don't have any real like.
Only because that one character. If it wasn't for her, I'd be completely out already.
Yeah, I don't really have any real draw to keep watching this. It's not bad. Some people might like it, but it's just like, I don't know. That's about all I can say. It's just meh.
It's one of those things where it's like weird because it has a lot of the right pieces, but it's not doing it right somehow. There's something missing from it.
Yeah, something missing.
Is there something about it that kind of feels, again, trying too hard?
Yeah.
It's got too much of the right pieces or something.
Or it's like the pieces are too, like, I guess, formulaic, maybe?
Yeah, or
there's nothing
assembled incorrectly, or...
Like, the entire thing was built by committee.
I don't know.
No, I don't think it quite fits that, but, yeah. Something, it doesn't click.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna only want one character is what's gonna convince you to go ahead and give it one more shot. But if that's not enough, I'm out.
I'll let you tell me if it's worth it.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go ahead and move on to the final one.
Oh boy.
Onii-chan wa Oshimai, aka Onimai, I'm now your sister.
Oh boy.
This is a gender bender anime, which, well, a kind of a neat guy in his 20s, probably
something around there.
Somewhere there. Suddenly wakes up as a middle school girl because of their genius younger sister, who apparently developed a drug and gave it to them and girl now, and like, oh, okay. And just goes about their life like, okay, I'm just going back to watching anime and playing video games. And that's that. And then, anyway, Mahiro, that's their name. It kind of has to deal with the fact that they're a girl now, and also Mihari, that's the sister's name, is trying. Apparently, this is whole part of some sort of big project to improve her brother. Yep. And it's kind of like, you take a really roundabout way to do this, but I guess. Okay, but also, when can I get the drug? Give it to me now. I don't care if I go back. Actually, if I go back to being middle school age, I can redo a lot of stuff.
Oh, you just that actually hit a thing that I was thinking about too.
So that's pretty much the gist of it. Is NEET becomes girl, now is being forced to more or less, improve their life. There's a couple other characters appeared so far, named Katie.
Kaede. I don't know. That's a weird one to pronounce. I'm not entirely certain. Kaede.
Yeah, Kaede.
I think if you were to just straight up Romanize it, we just call her Katie.
Yeah.
But
Kaede there is one of Mihari's friends. Mihari's also probably jumped ahead quite a bit. it's one of those things. She's college age, but it's clear she's not. Well, she's not college age. She's in college, but it's clear she's not actually college age. She's apparently high school age.
Yeah, I'm not her age. Mihari's age. She's into college early.
Yes.
She skipped stuff, but we also don't know how long it's been since when she skipped and when the anime starts.
All we know is, well, Kaede, for example, is one of her friends, and she's in high school. It's not hard to connect dots. So anyways, right now, also, Mahiro is now the younger sister, essentially. And there's a lot of the weirdness that comes with it. Like, all of a sudden, one day, feeling kind of weird and cramps, and
how long has it been since
it's been a month since she's been turned into a girl, and that's what's going on. Or just, you can't pee like that anymore. You have to sit down now.
Yep, and all the other little things.
All the weird things, like also, you need to wear your undergarments, and you need to wear them. Otherwise, things are going to be uncomfortable for everybody.
Chafing hurts.
Yep, stuff like that.
Yep.
The other thing about this is, it is pervy at times. Very pervy at times. It likes to go pretty. When it gets to the pervy parts, it likes to get pretty intense about it sometimes. Namely, Kaede. Kaede, again, is a big focal point in the third episode specifically. Boy, howdy. Also, another thing is, interesting enough, this anime is also really well animated.
Yes.
Very smooth. It's actually to the point, I can't believe I'm saying a sentence like this, which is, that was the smoothest boob jiggle I have ever seen.
That's a new sentence. That is definitely a new one. Wasn't expecting that sentence.
Yeah.
But
it's like, that they just really put a lot of love and care into that boob jiggle.
Yeah.
Also, apparently based on the manga, which you apparently read a bit.
She's gonna just take all my lines here, aren't you?
I am.
Why am I even sitting here if you're just gonna say it all for me?
Okay, bye. Kaede got a bit of a buff from the manga, apparently.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Lukoa from Dragon Maid.
I haven't read the manga on that one, so...
No, that part, but general
the size. Yes. The difference is, in Dragon Maid, they all kind of have...
Yeah.
They're all kind of well endowed.
Also no, 5-year-old kid.
Right.
Just in case. If you remember, Dragon Maid's really creepy sometimes.
Yeah. Again, Lukoa. So... You mentioned this earlier. I'm actually reading the manga on this, and I've been reading the manga on this for a while.
Like I was reading Magical Revolutions manga.
Yeah, so I've been reading Onimai for a while before they even announced that there was an anime.
Right.
So when it was announced, I was definitely interested. It's like, I've been reading the manga. I've been mostly enjoying this, but I was also like, I know it's in the manga, and I'm a little worried what the anime might do.
They took some liberties.
I will say... It was a little tough remembering the first few chapters because
it's been a while.
Chapter 70 now.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, and it seems to be following about 3 chapters an episode.
Right.
Some out of order. I think they skipped chapter 4 too. So that does happen. So
like I mentioned with Magical Revolution, one of the characters was introduced much earlier than they were in the anime.
Yeah. As of episode 3, they got through chapter 10. So it is where it was. But otherwise, it's actually following it fairly closely. There's some one-to-one scenes and such like that. So that's kind of interesting to see. Like you said, the animation and art on this, it's absolutely incredible. Like I was shocked at the smoothness of the animation. I really enjoyed the art on it. But when it comes to the changes, like you mentioned, things got buffed. That one shocked me because... Yeah, Kaede was not like that. Kaede was not like that in the manga at all. But the other weird one, I was worried about how pervy it would take things.
Mm-hmm.
And it does.
Yes.
But absolutely. It also doesn't in places that it could. And it's like, sometimes it feels like they're missing opportunities that it feels like they would normally have. I don't know. It's weird.
What are they doing with this thing?
It's like, some places they'll like, yep, that was an opportunity to be pervy that wasn't in the manga, but they took it anyway. Or they force one in there that wasn't in there, and then they'll skip one that they could have. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So I'm a bit disappointed in it, in the fact that they took it in ways I was fearing, and I'm a bit worried with some upcoming scenes
I know there's something about I've seen people posting. Apparently, another girl shows up and kind of gets a little bit of a situation with Mahiro.
So there's going to be a number of characters that are introduced. The first one, and I think it's going to be in episode 4 if I remember seeing the title. New friend is, I believe, Momiji is going to show up. Yeah, right. Momiji shows up. There's some scenes where it could get not great.
Well, I'm not talking about fan service. I'm talking about that's a little gay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
because again, this whole story, Mahiro is now suddenly a girl.
Yep.
And it's basically a figuring out what it's like to live as a girl and realizing what it is and how their life has changed and whether or not they like this or not.
Yep.
You right in the beginning of talking about this one, confusion over pronouns.
Yep.
You're going to get confused over pronouns because so does Mahiro. Mahiro can't figure it out either. That's one of the plot points. We get this. It starts out with no, I'm a guy and gotta keep my manly side and gotta keep doing manly things, but then starts drifting into doing really girly things and enjoying it and going, oh no, suddenly realizing
dressing up in front of a mirror and
and you start getting this. You can tell that they're also struggling with the
Who am I?
This. Am I supposed to? And then the flipping back and forth and so. It's gender feels and gender confusion and watching them deal with this, which is something I really, really wanted. I just didn't want the pervy side too.
It's the enemy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, also mentioning things. I forgot to mention this stuff earlier. The first one we talked about the
Tale of Outcast.
Yeah, Tale of Outcast. That was done by I saw it.
Whomst
Ashy Productions. That one. Magical Revolution is being done by Dio Media, I guess. Very weird. Although in very different weird spelling. High Card is doing by Studio Hibari and Onii-chan Oshimai. That is Studio Bind.
Yes. And they're relatively new if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Another thing I want to mention, also fun thing, is this season there's actually 2 gender bender anime.
Yes.
And I also watched the other one because I remember you were waffling for a little bit about this because you heard from anime feminists that Onimai is a bit lecherous and you're like, oh man, maybe I should do the other one.
Yeah, because it bugs me because it's like I wanted
to be good. I
I
have watched the other one, so bonus 5th one a little bit.
Oh, I haven't watched it. I've heard it's good though.
Yeah, I watched the other one and yes, it's actually pretty good. Although funnily enough, and by the 3rd episode, it also gets pretty pervy. Because in the 3rd episode, there's the bathhouse scene, and there's 2 girls, and one of them, of course, is jealous of the other's bust size and starts groping her. And in the 4th episode, which I've watched, there was a fairy that decides that she likes being in her cleavage.
Yeah, you mentioned bathhouse scene. That's ones that I'm worried about with Onimai.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had one, but it was actually really tame.
I suspect the only reason the first 2 episodes didn't have pervy stuff in it because the first few episodes are kind of time skip stuff where we start off as her literally as a baby and skipping ahead.
Yeah, I would hope it would go pervy.
Although there is a bit of a one camera angle thing, although it's kind of one of those POV shots, but the guy is definitely leering her even though she's only 12 at that point.
Yeesh.
There's a whole thing there. But anyway, that was called Ayuo Bu wo Kowo Maru Tame Tensu Shoshite Sekai Seiko no Minari Kishi.
How badly did we butcher that one?
Which is Reborn to Master the Blade from Hero King to Extraordinary Squire. And that one's kind of interesting because I could sum it up as basically, what if a shonen protagonist got stuck in a fantasy medieval thing? And all she wants to do is fight to see how strong she is. She's basically if Goku was turned into a girl and thrown into a medieval fantasy. She just wants to fight.
I just want to fight.
And it's actually, I will say this, yes, so far I've actually generally been pretty much enjoying it. It's a fun thing. And the funny thing is, it's like, there's several characters in here. It's like, oh wait, I know you. I know the voice actress because the main character, it's the voice of Kanata Konoi from Love Live.
Of course. There has to be a Love Live connection with you, isn't
the character has not appeared yet, but she's in the OP. Leone.
Not appearing in this show.
I believe, Leone, who's appeared in the OP but hasn't appeared in the show yet. Voice of Setsuna Yuki, or Makima from Chainsaw Man. 2 Love Live characters. And also the funny thing is one of them, this is a weird connection, is there's another character that she's the cousin of the main character, which is the other thing I'm a little worried about because there's this vague implication that there might be romantic feelings between two cousins. Vague implications. Nothing happened yet there, but yeah. But anyway, the cousin there voiced by Kakuma, who also voiced the maid in Magical Revolution.
Ilya, I think was her name,
Ilya.
or something like that. I just closed the tab.
Yeah,
too.
so it's just funny connections there, but that's also generally so far been pretty fun. Although there is my big worry in that one is just simply they're gonna do weird things with the two there.
Yeah.
But so far we had several cool fight scenes and stuff, and it's also the weird thing, like because it's different. It's not an isekai like I thought it was. Not necessarily, not by the strictest definition anyway. Basically, it was an old guy. He was a king, dies of old age, and he's because he's such a had great lives. The goddess says, "Okay, I'll get you one wish. Grant you one wish." He says, "I want to reborn so I can hone my fighting skills I never got a chance to because I became king." Granted, wakes up, body of a baby girl, and crap. But apparently carried over some divine blessing with
right.
Also retains all the memory.
That's it's not always that's
but,
common for isekai, but not
so
for
stuff like her going like I don't like men like that. So there's that. She doesn't like men like that. She never has.
Never has.
Yeah, the first few episodes are just time skip stuff, and there's a whole thing where, like, as a 5-year-old, she humiliated someone. So, and then later, a 12-year-old, that was the thing I was talking about. We were being leered out. She was being leered out by the guy who she humiliated. It's pretty clear he wanted to humiliate her in a new way, because he also apparently had a lot of political power in such a way he could get away with it if he wanted to. But she has raw strength, so. But yeah, getting off the topic from
to bend.
Onimai though. Onimai, again, like I said, really smoothly animated. It's largely pretty funny too. And unfortunately, it's really pervy, but honestly, I'm probably going to watch it anyway because gender feels stuff.
That was one thing I wanted to see out of one of these gender bend things. Because a lot of the gender bends that I've seen in anime that popped up have always been like isekais or fantasy or whatnot. Like, what about just a gender bend in just normal everyday life?
There we go.
And that's what this is, except, of course, they want to make it pervy.
There's one thing I saw, the one little short manga thing. So far, not a whole lot of it. It's like a little doujin, where it's guy just randomly, just because of apparently a unusual disease, just turns into a girl.
I think I've heard about this.
I told you about it actually, but it's just guy has an unusual disease, he turns into a girl, and this has a girlfriend. Well, she's like, yeah, I'm still gonna date you. I'm still gonna date you. I still love you.
Yep.
And her just kind of dealing with all the weirdness.
I was a worm.
Yeah, it was just her just kind of dealing with different gender, but also has a supporting girlfriend the entire time. So that's nice.
That's nice.
But anyway, this one is, again, if you have a low tolerance for pervy stuff, this is going to be really hard to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't as bad as I was. I think I may have just been like negatively hyping myself up
because you saw that one
I was like
article.
So worried about what it was going to be. It didn't hit that low of a bar.
And you saw that article too, so like,
yeah, about it being
like,
lecherous. I was like, it doesn't seem that bad. But then, especially when Kaede showed up, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, when Kaede showed up,
they're starting to take more liberties.
A lot of liberties. So we'll see how far they take it. Because, I'm going to be watching it still, regardless.
Yeah. And like I said, there are some scenes coming up that I could see them taking in a direction that I would
make
really
it
not
really
them
creepy.
Want to. Yeah, enhancing. Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Those, we get the scenes that we had in here where having the first period or whatnot, or learning to use bathroom. Those are just normal things that you're going to have to deal with and stuff that happens. And in the manga, it's just like, it's a thing that happened. But if you change your camera angles or whatnot, you can dwell into things
You could cater to very specific fetishes.
Yeah, there's other ways that, and trying not to also spoil potential stuff in the future.
The other thing about it is, honestly, I don't think the perviness would have been so bad if, like, say, the hero was still an adult.
Right, and that reminds me, you mentioned that earlier, and I was gonna, it's like, because I know you were, when we were watching it, you were asking, like, but why did you digress in age?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, he's like, if you were to wake up, and you already caught this when you first started talking about it today, if you were to suddenly wake up as a girl, which would be great.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
But also, if you wake up as a lot younger, now you have the option to live the life you missed out on.
Some would agree, but the problem is like, if nothing, like this, nothing else has changed about the world.
Right.
So you got that problem of, well, for me, example, I live alone, so it's like,
You can't really.
I'm middle school. I have a car, but legally I now can no longer drive it. Also, my ID does not match at all. And
Yep. That's a fun one.
this is going to be I can probably coast by for a while, but eventually something's going to give.
The other big one for dealing with that in real life would be the people who know you.
Yeah, that too.
In my hero's,
Person knows
we're just
her.
circumstance. No one else really knows them.
Yeah.
They're a super heavy NEET.
I didn't know you had a little sister.
Exactly. I mean, there's some questions about later on, at least in the manga, where they ask about, the sister's older brother. What happened to your brother?
Oh, he died.
no, I think it's off to college is what the excuse is. But yeah, and that also reminds me, there was one we haven't actually mentioned it. Well, you kind of said that he was kind of pervy beforehand.
Oh yeah, because he played
that does pop up a couple times
yeah.
in the manga, like the new friend that shows up
right
later on. I know the names and such.
Right.
They end up going into the bedroom.
Yeah.
Before my hero can stop her.
Oh.
My hero hasn't put everything away yet.
Oh no.
So
she saw
finds and
stash.
has to come up with it's not mine. This is my older brother's. He's off to college and I'm just using the room.
It's not mine.
But that's also one of those scenes that I'm worried what the anime is gonna do about, because it mentions he was into the kind of the pervy and rapey games.
Oh,
that was
fun one.
That was in the manga. They don't ever present it. They just
You
mention
just remind me of something. In this anime, they actually use real video games for a lot of this stuff. We saw Guilty Gear Strive.
Yep.
We saw, what was the other ones we saw?
There's also DVDs and such, like Subarashi. What's the actual name for that with?
Well, with the anime and stuff, they used fake names, but the games are actual games.
They took screenshots of actual games.
Not just screenshots, but they're actually the games they're playing on the TV.
I'm trying to remember.
I know for a fact one of them was Guilty Gear. I'm trying to remember what some of the other ones were.
Guilty Gear was definitely one, because I remember I think they even had Bridget.
Yeah, Bridget's on there, which is that's a little funny.
That is great.
Perfect, actually.
Which I said they skipped chapter 4. Chapter 4 was all of them. It was my hero playing an MMO, so it would have been great to see what game there, but they skipped that chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the movie scene. I remember that one. They went to go see a movie, and in the anime, it was Titanic in space, but in the manga, it was Your Name. They went to go see Your Name with the body swap. The one. But yeah, they were using.
Oh, they played River City Girls.
Oh yeah, they were playing River City Girls.
Stuff like that. Oh, apparently, of course, surprise, surprise, people are upset that they put Bridget in the anime.
Of course.
What anime are you watching, stupid?
You having Bridget is so perfect for it. I so want this to be good. I so want this anime to be good.
Well, at least it's well animated.
Oh, it is totally well animated.
Yeah. I'm going to keep watching it. You're probably going to keep watching it.
I think I'm obligated to watch it since I'm reading the manga.
What did I do wrong? Be one of those.
It's going to be, I'm going to either watch it and enjoy it, or I'm going to watch it to hate watch it. And then get pissed off.
The manga was better.
Yes, I'll do the
nose held high.
I can't be that snobby because I'm reading, the translations. So I can't be that snobby. I can't read Japanese yet.
I can read some of it.
I can make out some words and things like that.
I know some of these words.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of the 4, okay, first one, the Tale of Outcasts. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, see where it goes.
We'll see what happens. We'll keep up. We'll probably keep up. I'll at least keep up with it, but we'll see. Magical Revolution.
Yep,
yes.
Definitely.
Amazing. This is the one, this is also the one I would say actually doesn't have any real issues with it either.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Of the 4, that's the standout one, definitely.
That's definitely the big one. High Card. It's kind of sad in how it's trying so hard, but I'm going to give it one more shot. I'm personally going to give it one more shot. You've pretty much given up on it.
Yeah, if you say it's good, I might keep watching.
Yeah. And then Onimai, yes, but also some reservations about it.
Yeah. Yes, however.
Yes, but you just be careful. It's one of those I would not blame people for just checking out on it.
Yep. Don't feel bad if it makes
Too
you
much.
if it makes you feel uncomfortable and you don't want to watch it, then I perfectly understand that makes sense.
Anyway, so that's it for this episode. Pretty decent, varied selection this time too,
Yes.
which is nice.
All over the place.
I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, you could check out other episodes at newtoweeaboo.libsyn.com, spelled Libsyn. You could subscribe to the RSS feed there, or you could go click those buttons at the top, and some of them will take you places like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. There's also, we're on Amazon Podcasts /music. You could just go to any of those and search for New to Weeaboo as well if you want to not click buttons, I guess. Maybe you subscribe to us on via those many ways and keep up with us and check out old episodes as well. You can also contact us via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com, if you have questions or criticisms or anime recommendations or whatever, or maybe just yelling at us because, I don't know, we're wrong. No, high card, you don't understand. This is high art.
It's high art for high card.
Yep. But I don't know. So there's that. You can also follow us on Twitter so far still. We're at New to Weeaboo. And there's also personal Twitters. I'm at Prime1, and he's at Alcatraz and 77T and an underscore at the end. And finally, review stuff for new Transformers because the new line has started. Yay. And also from Teto. Lots and lots of Teto.
Lots of Teto and some Mikus.
So anyway, that's it for this one. Join us next time. We will be talking about the disappearance of Nagato Yuki-chan.
Heading back into the Haruhi universe.
Haruhi, yes.
Haruhi.
Kind of, because it's the alternate universe.
Yes.
So we'll see. We'll
I
see
meant
how
the,
that plays
the
out.
story universe. Yeah.
We'll see how that one plays out.
Yep.
Hope you guys, have a good February and all that stuff. Don't get too cold.
Yeah.
Considering, particularly if, say, in the Northeast, U.S. or Canada.
All over the place. It's just cold snaps everywhere. Climate change. Yeah.
So take care of yourselves and stay warm, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.